For years, people have been asking me, can we get a hold of your template, the template that you use in all of your videos? So at last, finally, it's done. Now, under the Resources tab in archi-ed.com or .com.au, we'll find the ArchiCAD template 22. So this is designed for ArchiCAD version 22. In order to use the template, we need to choose the template from the folder. If you don't have that set up, you can go to Browse Template and find that TPL file that we need. Once you've loaded it, of course, I'm using my work environment profile, which comes with the template as well. You press New. This is creating a new project, and so it's creating a blank project, but using these template settings. Now, once you arrive in the file, let's have a look at what a template is, how the Archi-ED template works, and what you're expecting to see. The template, for those who don't know, is made mostly up of the elements that we see in the navigator. So that is our story sections, elevations, worksheets, details, 3D documents, 3D drawings, our schedules. Then when we pop over to our view map, that's all the saved views of these same drawings and potential drawings. Of course, what we're seeing in our model is that there's no modeled information. The point is that it's a blank template, and then we add in our modeled information. I'm going to create a video next that's showing the template being used in a project and how we would choose to select layers, what type of elements, and how we would interact with those in our template files, in our saved views. So we have all the saved views, and generally they're empty when we're talking about modeled information. There is the exception of the worksheets and the schedules, which won't be empty. They will have some information. Of course, the schedules, the quantity schedules particularly, won't have much information until you have modeled information to go into them. And then we have our layout book. So all the layouts are created, and we have two masters here, which is the way that I recommend working. These are both set up on A1. Let's have a look at how this works. Some people have asked, what about an A3 master? Do you use an A3? My recommendation is that I use an A1 master, and of course that can be then output as either an A1 or an A3 drawing when it's printed. And so therefore the scale works on both scales. So for instance, if we're placing a site plan at 1:100 on A1, then that would mean that it is being output at 1:200 at A3. And if we're creating a upper ground floor plan at 1:50 at A1, then it would be a drawing at 1:100 on A3, and so on. And so that applies for everything, and that's the reason why, in order to be effective and consistent and avoid duplicating files or the need to have multiple masters and templates, it's based on A1, not on A3. So this is our navigator, and of course we finish our navigator with our publisher. As you've seen, I like to use the organizer, show organizer, and that means we're breaking up our views into a split window. So on the left hand side I normally choose the layout book, and on the right hand side I choose the publisher sets. I've created a BIMX publisher set, a DWG, PDF multi-page, which means they're all going to save as one multi-page PDF, and multi-page individual, so those can be exported one at a time or all together, but they create individual files. So these are already set up for you, and that's the whole point of a template file, so you don't need to do that. The other big factor in a template file is the element attributes. So these include all of the individual resources which I've posted previously, which is my layer and layer combination, and these are all preset, so as you toggle through they automatically are defined. Line types, they're all customized to be AED, Archi-ED. Pens and colors, so this is using the Archi-ED pens. Again, my preference is just to use one type of pen set, not a variety of pen set, and this is designed so All of these first 10 are black, increasing in thickness, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, so on, up to 1 millimeter. And all of the outlines that I will be using will always be black. Sometimes I'd use grey lines, and sometimes I'll be using fills, and I'll want those fills or maybe some specialty lines like 240, which is mostly intended as an electrical. So my lighting and electrical elements will go on this pen, meaning that it's red. And of course, this can then be output as red or changed to black with all pens to black if that's necessary. But otherwise, they're all on the same pen set. The fills are all customized, all Archi-ED fills. And this, of course, is the same for the surfaces, all prefixed with AED. And I've also added in the ColorBond colors here as well, because they're quite commonly used. Building materials. As we know, building materials are a combination of a surface, a fill. They also, of course, have their own pens assigned. Then a composite, AED composites, based on the standard types of walls, slabs, roofs, and shells that we might be using or creating. The intention of a template is it's to make your work faster, more efficient, and not needing to redo the same processes that you would otherwise do in every single project.